So Mario Kart World has been out for a couple of weeks now, and it's a pretty freaking good game. I am loving it so far. One of the most rewarding things about the game is the music and how they've reimagined some of the old stuff in a completely new way, which I was not expecting. In terms of Mario Kart music, this is just some of the most satisfying versions of some of these songs we've ever listened to. They're so good. It's kind of cool. Like in the game, you will play circuits, but you'll also drive from circuit to circuit, and that will be a race in itself. It seems to be that in any given point-to-point journey across the map, it will kind of shuffle remixes of old school Mario Kart songs in almost like it's like a Spotify playlist or a radio station or something. So you're constantly getting this fresh, unpredictable delivery of songs. And my God, some of them are spectacular. I could sit here and talk about dozens of songs in the game, but there is one I want to focus on, which I just have not been able to get enough of recently. I've been listening to it while I've been working. It's my new favorite remix of any Mario Kart song ever. It is the remix of SNES Rainbow Road, and it sounds like this. Oh man, it's so good. The bass. Listen to this. Those little fills. It's just the stankiest remix. It's so good. Oh. And the chords are almost the same, but they've reharmonized a few bits. They've sort of switched things up just enough to make it fresh sounding, and my God, I freaking love it. The very first thing you hear is this. Which is like... And it's just such a cool, like 80s Michael Jackson style bass synth thing to kick things off, and immediately sets up this like new tempo, this laid back kind of like, we're not in a rush, we're just going from point to point across the map. This isn't Rainbow Road. This is just, we're reminding you what Rainbow Road sounded like on the SNES in this part of the game. The original is way more upbeat and frantic and kind of hectic. And even that bass down, there's all these like offbeat stabs and everything. It's way more like hectic and like upbeat. And that's the kind of the version that I feel like I'm used to hearing. But just listen how more laid back this is. I'll talk about the chords in a minute because they're so good. There's lovely little like fusion style jazz funk riffs that just go in the middle of it that, I don't know, they're just so cool. It's so great. It's so like 80s and cheesy and fusiony and just so badass. I love it. There's three parts to the song is the way I see it, right? The original, if you listen. First part is this. Which is a crazy, like, discordant kind of sounding thing when you play it in context like that. In isolation like that, sorry. When you add in the bass note, which is C, it becomes this really cool, like, what is it? It's like a sus4 with a 13, a 7 sus4 13, C7 sus4 13, is that right? But it resolves to this like C13, which is really nice. And so all of that discordant stuff, it just is resolved by one note in the middle just dropping down. Anyway, I'm getting away from myself. That's the first part. The second part is obviously the melody. I don't know what the rest of it is. Something like that. But then the bass is the bit that's like really like, I don't know, it's the moving kind of undulating thing underneath it, which is keeping it like super, super interesting if you listen to the bass in the original. So, like, I'm not sure exactly precisely what it is, but really like choppy, offbeat, syncopated kind of thing going on there. And those three things together is what makes this track so cool, right? You've got this like hectic moving bass line. You've got these really sort of like stark chords in the middle, but they resolve really in a really weirdly satisfying way. And then this cool melody that just sort of like darts around on top of it. But that bass, that choppy bass, is quite a like, it's a signature part of the song, right? It's the thing that really gives it, for me, I think, gives it like, it's got more life to it than the actual melody. It's more of like the feature, it's more of the hook of the song than the melody. It's almost like they've kind of recognized that and sort of kind of paid homage to that original bass line, but in a completely different way. They've reimagined the bass line and it's way more like interesting and there's way more movement. It's just listen to the bass in this. So it starts pretty subtle, but just listen to this. So it's following this like the original. It's when it gets to the middle section, it really like departs. It's incredible. And I can't play it because just listen to it. Here it goes. Listen to this bass line. It's all over the place. I'm really annoyed that I hadn't like spent the time to like learn that line. It's kind of difficult to pick out, but it's all this like. Okay, that was absolute trash, but it's like it's doing that kind of thing where it's moving around loads and loads and loads underneath these like traditional sounding chords. It's freaking cool. Let's talk about the chords. They are reharmonized a bit, not loads, so it's still the same song, but there are just these little moments where it goes like, whoa, it does something slightly weird and different and then comes back, and I want to point out a couple of those things because they're just so cool. So you get that C7 sus4 13. That's in the original, and then it moves down to a B flat minor, which is so freaking sweet. So it does this thing in C where it's resolving to like a C major type chord, right? It's a C7, it's a major chord. Then it moves down and it doesn't go down to, so it goes down to a B flat, but it's not a B flat major type chord, it's a B flat minor 7. And that resolves to an E flat 7. And again, you've got that same shape in the middle, which is way more like harmonious. It's not quite as discordant as it was, but it resolves by one note shifting down. In the same way that the first set of chords resolves by one note shifting down. Just does it in a way more like safe, more traditional kind of way, I suppose. But so it goes between B flat minor to an E flat 7. And then it does a very similar thing in A minor. So check this. B flat minor, E flat, A minor 7, down to D7. Now this is where it gets cool. Those chords right there, oh my God, they're so freaking cool. So let's just take what they are to begin with, right? So we've gone to this like A minor 7, we get like a F over G, or it's like a G11 type thing. Which, coincidentally, I feel like is a super like Mario Kart sounding chord, right? So you get this super familiar sounding to the franchise chord. And then it does this. And that resolves into back to a proper, just like solid home sounding C major, and that's where we build the next part of the track. And for me, this is where the track is like, it's like the second half. It does this crazy build up kind of like, it goes away from the jazzy stuff and it goes a little bit more like epic Mario. But let's talk about those chords. This F over G thing here, it sounds like it wants to just resolve to C major. Instead of doing that, instead of even playing it as like a G dominant or even like a G augmented, we do tritone substitution, which is basically you take the dominant chord of a key signature. So we're in the key of C major. The dominant is G7. Take that exact same chord, you don't do anything to it except you take the bass and you switch the bass note out for a tritone away. So from G, that goes down to C sharp. And to make it even spicier, we instead of playing a G7, we play a G augmented, which is like this really kind of goofy kind of resolution, which is kind of cool because it's a playful song, right? It's a playful game. But if you take that G augmented and do the tritone substitution thing, you end up with, which I freaking love so much. And then that resolves to a nice C major. So that whole thing is so freaking good. It's so clever. It's so simple, but it's just different enough to make your ears go like, oh, this is this version of this song. This is something a bit different to what we're used to. It's cool. I love it so much. I love it so much. It's so good. All right, so we're on to the second half of the track, and this is, again, a lot of this is really similar, but there are, again, a couple of little bits where it mixes it up from the original just enough to make your ears go like, oh. Bass is still going. We're pedaling over a C. So freaking good. So the chords there, we've got C major, a D major with a C on the bass, an E flat major with a C on the bass, an F add 9, you guessed it, with a C on the bass. So that is pedaling. That is where we just keep the bass note the same, but the chords on the right hand change. And I freaking love it. It's used in so many different things in so many cool ways. It's really powerful, like sort of like Elton John, sort of like Billy Joel type stuff. They use that all the time. I kind of grew up on that whole thing of pedaling. I think it could be like a super powerful thing to do. Here it's really cool because it just grows excitement without actually going anywhere, because where it goes in a minute is such a big triumphant change. It's worth like holding on to that bass note. So and then we jump to this like F major thing. And this is where the reharmonization just comes in a little bit, and it's subtle and it's cool. And then the sax just goes into orbit. It's so freaking good. But anyway, before I get too excited about saxophones, we've done this. We then move to F. Now in the original, it does this really cool, similar kind of thing. So in the original, it does like a F with a G over F. And that kind of mimics the C and and then D over C. It's always exactly the same thing. Chord, right hand moves up a tone. Same thing goes on there. Chord, right hand moves up a tone. It's cool. This time though, it doesn't do that. It goes like this. And then it chucks a diminished chord right in the middle. Just because why the hell not? And it lingers on that diminished while the top note changes, or like the melody changes, and it kind of respells it to like a minor 4 chord with a major 6, which I just freaking love so much. And if you've watched my streams, and if you know anything about the kind of chords I love, a minor 4 to a major 1, it's just nothing like it. Ask my wife. She knows that. She doesn't care, but she knows that I love a minor 4 to a major 1. That's how much I love that chord sequence. And that's basically what you get here in a really dramatic kind of sense. And then you get another reharmonization, so it changes it up again from the original. So let's just like backtrack a second and just hear what it does here. Now that, I swear, is different from the original. I want to hear what the original does. Okay, cool. So this is what the original does, right? It goes to this lovely, after it hits that C major first inversion, it goes to this like E flat dominant type thing, which just falls into this chord right here, the D minor 7 or D minor 7 add 9 or whatever you want to call it. That's our target chord, right? From the F, we do a bunch of fancy stuff and then we end up to that D minor 7. That's where we're trying to land. And the original does that by kind of just very, very gradually, chromatically moving down with some jazzy chords in there. So we're going from F, 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 E, E flat, D. What the Mario Kart World version does is a little bit different. We start on that F, we're aiming to the D minor 7, but it just does a little detour and then comes back, and it is freaking cool. So what we're doing there, instead of doing this like chromatic down from F to D thing, we're taking a detour. So we go. Just a no messing about A7. So it's like, instead of, now here you go. Here's a cool little thing I've just literally noticed this second. If you do a tritone substitution from there, you get the chord that's in the original. Oh, that's freaking cool. We just learnt that in real time right there. My God, that's cool. So what's actually happening there is, in the original, we go to this like E flat 7 dominant thing, a tritone substitution away from E flat 7 dominant, you end up with A7 dominant, E flat to A. There's your tritone. Chord stays the same on the right, but it's respelled. And then from there, we end up on our D minor 7, which is our that's our target chord. That's where we were headed. God damn it, this piece of music is so freaking amazing. I love it. Oh my God, it's so good. And then once we're at that D minor 7, it's business as usual. This is what the original does. F minor 7 to a lovely B flat 13. And then that goes really nicely back up to the original chord. It's almost like it's the same chord but moved up. But we're going from a B flat 13 up to a C. Oh, it's this one again. C 7 sus 4 add 13. The chord that wants to resolve to the C13. It's such a trip. It's such a journey. I love it so much. So I'm going to play those chords from like that entire second section. It's so good. How many times have I said it's so good, this video? I need some more descriptive words. Actually, no, I don't. It's so freaking good. That's all I have to say about it. So there we go. That is me just absolutely like praising the ever-loving Jesus out of this track from this game. The SNES Rainbow Road remix for Mario Kart World is just... It's just one of the coolest remixes I've heard of a Nintendo song. And it's just really cool to see them like reviving some of these older tunes and not just doing like, oh, here's the modern version of it. It's exactly the same, but we've just changed up the instrumentation. It's like, no, here's a complete reimagining of the song. We've gone from this fast-paced, energetic thing to this like laid-back, just absolute jam. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening to me just like ramble on about music theory and why I love applying it to video game music. It's kind of what I do. If you found this useful, if you found this interesting, I implore you to hit that subscribe button. A little update, I realize that this channel, it gets very, very few uploads, and I apologize for that. Won't go into great detail, but I have a high performance, high stress job in the video game industry, and that is taking up all of my time right now mentally. So I've taken a step back from videos and streaming and things like that. I'm so grateful for all of you subscribing. We hit 10,000 subscribers recently. It's absolutely ridiculous. I appreciate it so much. Apologies I'm not around to upload videos more often, but you know, when the music is this good, I can't not. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being okay with me not uploading very often. And if you're not okay with it, then I can't help you. You know, there's nothing I can do about that. I can't. Well, yeah, there is. I can upload more. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. This is some impressive rambling at the end of a video, and I'm going to sign off. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.